Welcome into another 2024 movie review. This time it is about the effects of a supermoon that has turned a lot of people crazy in this film called Werewolves. I am Tim Melton. That is Tyler Johns. We make up the meltdown. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you like and subscribe as we're set to talk about what is a horror movie experience that I have not quite had this year. I do not think Werewolves, I'll start right off the bat. I do not think Werewolves is a good movie.
What a hot take. What a hot take. No, it is
Not a good movie, but I championed the spectacle that was Werewolves, the event that was Werewolves. I had a howling good time in this. I really enjoyed how straight it was played on the screen and how everyone sort of bought in to the mythos that Werewolves has set, that we're having a recurring event where previously a billion people got messed up by the supermoon. And this time, government's looking to do something about it as they have created, no, not sunscreen, moonscreen. Moonscreen is going to protect us all. The only problem is, Tyler, and spoilers ahead for those that haven't seen Werewolves, I recommend you actually see it. Um, it doesn't work.
well, you gotta reapply, Tim. You gotta
You gotta
reapply.
constantly apply for sure. But like, I'm just thinking, like, how hard is it to stay inside during this event?
Well, if you're if you're Lucy with a shotgun, it's real hard.
It's true. She was puncturing a lot of holes in the ceiling. And the first time
Shooting
she
at
did
nothing.
it, look, the first time she did it, I thought, oh, she's not going to do that again. And then she just starts blasting it. So I started blasting. It's just like, it's everywhere. And it's such a fun experience because it's none of the character decisions make a lot of sense. The guy that's doing target practice in his backyard, that
Oh my gosh. What a lack of gun safety. He is shooting at the entire
yeah,
neighborhood behind him.
yeah. If I'm Frank Grillo, I'm taking him out quick.
Eh,
As soon as it gets dark outside, nobody's going to know. But this is a mix of The Purge meets Moonfall
Yep.
because the moon is our enemy yet again here in this country. And The Purge, you lock your windows, you hope that what's the craziness happening outside doesn't affect what happens inside. But we all know, Frank Grillo being a veteran of the Purge series, by the way, we all know that what happens on the outside eventually makes its way into the home. And
Always.
that's what happens here with Werewolves. Lou Diamond Phillips is like the lead scientist in this. He's playing the Independence Day Jeff Goldblum role,
He was
where
amazing in
he
this.
was amazing in this. He becomes sort of like the lead antagonist werewolf based on getting turned there in the lab while they're trying to have all of the different moon screen tested on these guinea pigs that have decided to sign up. Was it clear that they had been paid, those guinea pigs, like to participate in the moon screen testing? Because for me, my
So
first viewing,
as someone with a bit of a background in psychology, there's a thing called informed consent for studies, and you can withdraw that at any time. And there was one person screaming, "Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!"
yeah,
And I was in the theater going, "Well, they should be allowed out if this movie isn't setting up some tyrannical government
and they
doing
weren't.
this." And they weren't doing that. It's just no, no, we're doing this. We
Yeah.
got you in the cage.
Yeah. You know what I loved? There's a couple things I loved about this movie that are unexplainable. So like the the guy applies sort of the Patriot face paint to get ready for the event because he's going to kill him some werewolves, and he turns into a werewolf, and his werewolf,
He kept the face paint
it
and the
kept the
vest.
face paint, it kept the vest. I want to say there were werewolves that were like bikers that had like
There were.
biker gear with earrings and
Yes.
stuff that were like
There was
expand.
one with a septum ring.
Ah, Frank Grillo at the end of this, there's a little bit of like Incredible Hulk television show where somehow he has his pants on after everything that happened and they're like perfectly fit. That's a whole nother thing. I love the campiness of this. I love the fact that there's just so much to sort of hoot and holler over during this because it's played absolutely straight. And Werewolves is wild. It's a wild experience. The people on screen are taking it so seriously. And I'm telling you, it is something that I just was not fully emotionally prepared for and walked out having a blast. Literally, if you see the amount of shotgun shooting in this, there were tons of lens flares in this. I
Oh
warned
my
you.
gosh.
Did you see?
I mentioned it in my little out of the theater reaction, that if I had $1 for every lens flare that was in this movie, I'd have more than it cost to make the movie.
Yeah. There were either lens flares or flickering lights or open fires in almost every shot of this movie. It was rabid. And my favorite thing that was completely unexplained was I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 4. And at one point they're like in the subway system or the corridors or the bus
Yeah.
system, I don't know. And they end up meeting like basically the merchant from Resident Evil 4, like, what you buying? What you selling? And he's like, he shows up and they think, okay, well, this is the end of us. We've met some sort of weird cult, underground cult that comes out, I guess, only during the supermoons. And they're like, we're just trying to get to safe passage. We're with the government. And he's like, I'll take you there, but no further. All right, let's go, and then he's never explained again. The cult is never explained again. You don't even see the cult drop them off anywhere. They just come out of
No.
a shaft. Like, who was that cult? What was their ideology? And why would they go, "Oh, you're from the government? Okay, come with us." Like that would be the opposite of what the cult would, I think, want to aid in this.
See, I thought it was that they were gonna be like a pro werewolf group because
That makes sense.
they were at one point, the dude was like, "I'll just feed you to the wolves." And I'm like, "Oh, does he have like one captive like Michonne from The Walking Dead
Yeah.
keeps a walker on a chain?"
Something tells me there was a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor with the cult there that led Frank Grillo and his counterpart that gets her death sequence. She gets like ripped up by a werewolf that's on top of the hood of the vehicle. But when Frank Grillo immediately gets out,
You don't see anything.
you don't see anything. So does the werewolf have jumping abilities to where it can jump over buildings, or it's not explained? There's a lot of things in
It,
this that
it's like
just,
the predator. It can just hide itself in camouflage.
I guess so. What did you think about the design of the actual werewolves themselves? What was your takeaway?
It looked goofy. It was just big, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze vibes, but, that feels a little disrespectful to Jim Henson and the Creature Shop because, even Taka and Razar looked better than the werewolves in this movie.
I'm right there with you. I'm glad you said it because I was literally thinking while I was watching it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villain. This is what this looks
Yes.
like. Once again, not the worst part of the movie.
No.
There's a lot of things that stand out as like, oh, that could have been better. But I think it's more fun for me thinking that they made this with all sincerity, that they thought it would be like really, really captivating.
They were like, "We're beating Wolfman to the punch."
Yeah. And it's called Werewolves, right?
Yeah.
So like what are they gonna call the sequel? Werewolves 2? More werewolves? Werewolves again? I hope there is a sequel. I want a
Werewolves
sequel.
is
Werewolves is I want a sequel to this. I had a ton of fun. It is not a great movie. There's a lot of things in it that just stand out like a sore thumb. I love that it has Lou Diamond Phillips. I
they
l
gave him the wackiest lines too, and he
They
just
did.
delivers them so just
Yeah.
dead serious. Serious as a heart attack.
I love this got a theatrical release, and, I root for more of this type of schlocky horror because it was really a lot of fun for me. I know a lot of other people take this genre deathly serious. I love werewolf movies for sure, but this one is, really goofy and fun if you go in with that sort of mentality. If you take it too seriously, and some people did, I think they walked
Oh,
out of my screening. If you take it too seriously, that's really on you. You gotta go in and know that this is like I think you put it really well. It's like it's B-movie horror,
yes.
but, like, you can have a level enthusiasm about B-movie horror, but let's not call
Absolutely.
this thing some sort of, like, masterpiece, okay? There's people out there champion that this is the best horror movie of the year. It's not, but it's a lot of fun, and I think overall, I give the movie, like, a 1.5 or a 2 out of 5, with its quality, but I'm telling you, I had a 5-star level experience in the theater watching it. I was entertained, I was engaged, I was having fun. This would be one to get your buddies all together, go see it, and have a great time.
Oh, I agree. My review is basically the same as yours. This is like a 1 to 1.5 star movie if we're purely talking about the technical ability of this
Yeah,
movie. But I had a 4 or 5 star experience because I was just sitting there laughing the entire time at what is supposed to be deathly serious, but it's just so overacted that you can't help but to laugh.
yeah.
And then you just pick up on weird little things and wonder, it's like, is it where they got this from? Because you mentioned the final werewolf fight a little bit
Mhm.
earlier. That reminded me of the very end of Batman Arkham Asylum, where Batman starts taking the venom stuff, so he turns into a monster, and you get
Yep.
monster versus monster
You get
for the
werewolf
final fight.
to me, it's like end of Jurassic World where you get
Oh,
T-Rex
yeah.
versus T-Rex, and it's just like, "Okay, let's go. Let's" and then you have all the humans sort of watching along. It's just a lot of schlocky fun, and I do think the kills could have been a lot better in this. I think some of the kills are actually really poor. Um, like the couch being thrown through the window that created like this ripple effect
Oh,
explosion
yeah.
for the Patriot guy that like it's like a bomb went off in the middle. Like it's goofy, but it's so much fun. So we're
Every time we saw that Patriot guy, he got, like, progressively more ridiculous.
correct.
Like, at first, it's just he's just kinda got this crazy look in his eye while he's shooting, in the general vicinity of, just innocent people.
Correct.
Then you see him with the vest on, it says "Wolf Killer." You're like, "Alright, yeah, this guy thinks he's Billy Badass." Then, the next time you see him, he's got face paint.
Yep.
And the next time you see him, he's a wolf with face paint and a bulletproof vest.
Correct. And that is the progression of this movie. His character arc is what we all went through. And rest in peace to that guy because he provided a lot. But him and Frank Grillo were in different movies at times. And Frank Grillo, I give him a lot of credit, man. He could have just come in here and just absolutely collected a payday. And he brought his A game to this level of movie. And I really appreciate his efforts. But my goodness, the emotional backstory, like why are the wolves going after this one family? Like, what do they have against this one
That's what
family?
I was wondering, because at one point she's looking, or she's not looking rather at the camera monitors, and you can see the wolves like look directly into the lens, grab the camera and rip it.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, so what is the what is the
Uh,
intelligence level of werewolves in this? Because normally I'd always just see them as like instinct driven, just
no,
animals hunting,
no.
but
This is
this guy is like planning his entrance into the house.
this reaches Jaws 4 levels,
Oh yes, yes.
with the werewolves not caring about, just getting anybody they can. They wanna go after this one particular family. They make their way, like, through the window and the door at one point, but yet then they never go back through the open gate, and they decide that then they're gonna get on the ceiling, and I it just logistically, there's a lot of questions I have for this movie, but that is going to be our werewolves review. And once again, if you want an experience where you're going from, a super moon to potentially a super jackpot, you're going to want to check out the casino there at mybookie.ag, where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. But once again, they've got the casino there with blackjack ready to be played right now. Join the MyBookie family for daily odds boosts, same game parlays, and super contests instead of those super moons. Make sure you use promo code next round for that first time deposit bonus. Bet and play absolutely anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. We are horror movie fans. We love horror movies. We went to go see this thing. We had a great time. There's a lot of people being very protective of this movie, but I think overall, going out, seeing it, having a good time in any way that you feel is best for you is a big win. So I want to see more werewolves on screen. We get the Wolfman coming up in a couple of months, and we'll have our review right here on the Meltdown for sure. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss one of our movie conversations.